the atlas of human emotions. At the end of this episode, you'll have a roadmap for navigating your own personal atlas of emotions. It's as if our minds have a built-in highlight reel, constantly replaying the moments that made us feel something intense, whether it was joy, fear, love, or heartbreak. And this isn't just some touchy-feely nonsense. It's hardcore neuroscience. Scientists have uncovered that emotional memories are processed and stored differently than ordinary run-of-the-mill memories. When you experience something emotionally charged, your brain goes into overdrive. The amygdala, that almond-shaped chunk of gray matter deep in your brain, starts firing like crazy, essentially slapping a big red, important stamp on the memory. This is why you can probably remember exactly where you were when you heard about 9/11, but you might struggle to recall what you had for lunch last Tuesday. But here's what's interesting. These emotional memories aren't just more vivid, they're also more resilient. They're like the cockroaches of the memory world, stubbornly hanging on long after other memories have faded away. A study published in Nature Neuroscience found that emotional memories are more resistant to forgetting than neutral memories. It's as if your brain has a special filing cabinet labeled "Do Not Discard" for all those emotionally charged experiences. Now you might be thinking, great, so I'm stuck with all these intense memories forever? Well, not exactly. Our brains aren't just passive storage units. They're more like overzealous librarians, constantly reorganizing and reinterpreting our memories. Each time we recall an emotional memory, we have the opportunity to update it, adding new information or changing its emotional tone. This process, known as reconsolidation, is why therapy can be so effective in helping people cope with traumatic memories. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty of how to wrangle these emotional memories, we need to understand just how deeply they impact our lives. These memories aren't just collecting dust in some forgotten corner of your mind. They're actively shaping your behavior, your relationships, and even your sense of self. Think about it. Have you ever met someone and instantly felt a strong connection or aversion to them without really knowing why? Chances are they triggered an emotional memory, perhaps reminding you of a loved one or a childhood bully. Or maybe you found yourself inexplicably anxious in certain situations, like giving presentations or riding in elevators. These reactions often stem from emotional memories of past experiences, even if you can't consciously recall the original event. Emotional memories also play a crucial role in decision-making. When you're faced with a choice, your brain doesn't just coldly weigh the pros and cons. It dips into its large reservoir of emotional memories, using past experiences to guide your decision. This is why you might find yourself gravitating towards certain career paths or relationship patterns, even if they don't always serve you well. But it's not all doom and gloom. Positive emotional memories can be incredibly powerful tools for personal growth and resilience. They're like emotional fuel tanks that we can draw from when times get tough. Remember that feeling of pride when you accomplish something you thought was impossible? Or the warmth of a particularly loving moment with family or friends? These memories can provide comfort, motivation, and strength when we need it most. The trick is learning how to harness the power of these emotional memories, as opposed to being controlled by them. It's about becoming the conductor of your own emotional symphony, as opposed to just passively listening to whatever tune your brain decides to play. So, how do we go about doing this? We will explore techniques for identifying and understanding these memories methods. It's like being an archaeologist of your own mind, carefully excavating and examining the artifacts of your past experiences. Choose a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to center yourself. Think back to a particularly vivid emotional memory. It could be positive or negative. The important thing is that it still evokes strong feelings when you recall it. As you focus on this memory, pay attention to the sensory details. What do you see, hear, smell, feel? The more vividly you can recreate the scene in your mind, the better. Now, identify the primary emotion or emotions you felt during this experience. Was it joy, fear, anger, love? Try to be as specific as possible. Next, explore any secondary emotions that might be lurking beneath the surface. For example, beneath anger, you might find hurt or insecurity. Pay attention to any physical sensations associated with these emotions. Does your heart rate increase? Do you feel tension in your muscles? These bodily responses are an important part of the emotional memory. Reflect on how this memory has influenced your beliefs, behaviors, or decisions. Has it made you more cautious in certain situations? More open to new experiences? More protective of loved ones? Try to connect this memory to other related experiences. Are there patterns or themes that emerge? There are some common pitfalls or problematic issues you need to watch out for when delving into your emotional past. First, there's the risk of getting stuck in negative memories. It's easy to fall into a spiral of rumination, replaying painful experiences over and over without gaining any new insights. This is why it's crucial to approach emotional memory work with a goal of understanding and growth, not just reliving the past. Another potential problem is the malleability of memory. Our brains are surprisingly unreliable narrators, often altering or embellishing memories over time. This doesn't mean your emotional memories are fake, but it does mean you should approach them with a degree of skepticism, especially if they're particularly old or seem too neatly packaged. There's also the risk of using emotional memories as an excuse for current behavior. While understanding the roots of your reactions is valuable, it shouldn't become a crutch that prevents you from making positive changes in your life. To avoid these pitfalls, it's important to approach emotional memory work with a balance of compassion and critical thinking. Be kind to yourself as you explore potentially painful memories, and be willing to challenge your own narratives and look for new perspectives. Emotional memories are tools, not chains. Learn to use them to propel yourself forward as opposed to letting them hold you back. As you become more adept at working with your emotional memories, you'll find that this skill is incredibly versatile. It can be applied to all sorts of scenarios, from improving your relationships to enhancing your creativity. In relationships, understanding your emotional memory patterns can help you break free from destructive cycles. If you find yourself consistently attracted to partners who are not good for you, exploring the emotional memories that drive these choices can be illuminating. Maybe you're unconsciously recreating dynamics from your childhood, or perhaps you're trying to fix a past hurt through your current relationships. By making use of your own emotional memories, you can add depth and authenticity to your creative endeavors. Even in the workplace, emotional memory awareness can be a valuable asset. It can help you understand your reactions to different leadership styles, your approach to teamwork, and your career aspirations. By recognizing how past experiences shape your professional behavior, you can make more conscious choices about how you want to show up at work. The key to adapting emotional memory work to different scenarios is flexibility. While the basic principles stay the same, identifying, understanding, and reframing emotional memories, the specific techniques you use might vary depending on the context. For example, in a relationship context, you might find it helpful to share your emotional memory insights with your partner, fostering greater understanding and empathy between you. In a creative context, you might use techniques like free writing or artistic expression to explore your emotional memories. Emotional past is not just a trip down memory lane. It's a vital exploration of the very essence of who we are. It shapes our perceptions, influence our decisions, and color our experiences.